Hey you guys, it's Mikkel with the Monson Schoolhouse, and I'm in my daughter's room today. It's a nice, serene, peaceful, and fitting room to be in talking about what I'm going to be talking about today. I wanted to reach out to all the mothers and even the fathers, grandmas or aunts that want to homeschool, have a desire, but they're working or they're busy or they think they just can't teach everything. And I am in a position right now where we've been homeschooling for 6 years. On the 5th year of homeschool, I got called to teach high school seminary, and that is basically taking on a part-time job. It's super busy and a really taxing call that requires a lot of my time and work. And so I've had to come up with kind of take my homeschool to make it work with my new busy schedule. And it totally works. God has led me to these amazing ways. So when there's a will, there's a way. If you're on the fence right now, it's about August and schools are going to start to go back. I want to encourage you that right now in our time of history, there's never been a more critical time to take our children back and to take control of their education, of their environment, of their mental health, their spiritual wellness. It's time to take our kids back. I work with youth every single day, and I see them, and I see the harm that the schools are doing to these youth, and I see the great benefits of having my kids home. And it's just given me, working with youth has given me that extra fire and confirmation that this is the way to go, that keeping our kids home in the long run is so beneficial to them, and it really makes parenting easier. And so I've just seen the huge benefits in keeping my children home, and so I'm continuing on this path the whole way through. So I just want to encourage you, it's doable for working mothers, working fathers. So first and foremost, when I started to teach seminary, my attention shifted and I realized I was not able to, grade their papers, revise their papers as much. So I wanted to share with you this curriculum that I found online. It is called Write at Home. And I don't have an affiliate link, but I'm going to share the link to their website down below. We signed up for a workshop. They have 8-week workshops. They have year-long programs. My daughter did the workshop and she absolutely loved it. And what it is it's not a Zoom. I'm completely on this online portal, and you work with a teacher, and my daughter loved her teacher that she worked with. I think she was a Harvard law student or law graduate, so they're very good instructors, and they give feedback on their papers, and she just loved the criticism that she received. She improved. She loved the constant, she had due dates, so it keeps them accountable. She loved the assignments. They are very neutral assignments. That's something that I was looking for. They aren't political. They aren't any, ideology, this or that. They're just very neutral. And, she loves to write with the Spirit of God in the writing, and, that's fine. She entered their annual writing competition, which is national, and Mackenzie actually was awarded 2nd place in her division. So that was awesome. And this writing competition is open to anyone outside of Write at Home too. So she was really encouraged. We had such success with Write at Home that I signed my boys up because I feel like they needed more attention with their writing. And I wasn't able to really revise their papers and give them critique because I had been grading seminary stuff, and you working moms, you all know how that is. I signed them up for the middle school, I think it's year 3, the entire year, I think. I think that's what I did. Mackenzie loved it. She signed up for high school too, the whole entire year. So Write at Home is an excellent resource if you are needing help with your child's writing and getting an outside viewpoint and you just don't have time to keep up on all their papers. So highly suggest it. I don't get any money from it. I just love them. So science. I know a lot of us are kind of, what is the best science program? And I want to just put in that these curriculums I'm sharing, there's so many more out there, but these are the ones that I chose. So I did research online and I found experience biology. I was doing research on YouTube and I clicked this amazing mother's video about experience biology, and I'll link it below so you guys can take a look. She kind of took you through the online portal of her child and how it worked, and it just looked like something that would work for us, because that's kind of how Write at Home does it. And so I loved Write at Home, so I thought experience biology would be good. And also it has a Christian background to this biology. I like print, so they are doing the online portal where the videos are, but I wanted these workbooks for the labs. That's another thing that it has labs. And so we did get the lab kit. I think it was like $130. I got one and my twin boys are going to share it. The lab kit came and there's like a whole pig in there. And you guys, I'm not going to be doing the labs with them. But Drew, my grade schooler, said he wanted to be a doctor. So I was like, awesome. You can dissect stuff with them. Family learning. This is just the high school level biology, if you were wondering. Yes, they're 13, they're in 8th grade, they're ready for high school. I said, let's just do it. Let's just get high school going. So this is the textbook, The Riot and the Dance. So I'm really excited. I've read through this book and it's really well written. So this is written with a God Christian perspective, and I love that. I really find it so critical, again, that me as our Christian belief, we believe in Christ, we believe that he created all things. I want to have my kids, I want to weave that through, and it's never been so important to weave Jesus Christ through their daily learning. It's so important right now. Anyway, so I'm really excited about this, and that is our science for my boys, and I guess for Drew, since he wants to be a doctor. For those of you who maybe aren't ready to go to high school science right now, maybe your kids are in middle school and you're wondering, what science could we do? Well, last year with my twin boys, when I was realizing I was so busy, we were not getting to the Good and Beautiful science units as fast to keep up with my boys that love science. So I took the Good and Beautiful science units, okay? I put it in a folder and I made it work for him to do on his own pace. So I plugged in the schedule of the lessons into his Homeschool Planet, and I'm going to talk about that towards the end of the video. And I've made flags, and he did it on his own. And I love the new science units for middle school because they have these lesson extensions. They've really upped the ante on these units. So they work for middle school. This is all I did for middle school science was the Good and the Beautiful science units. It worked great. It satisfied their curiosity. It gave them the base of learning. And then they're ready to take off into the high school levels. So that is for middle school science if you want more independent learning. All right, so for language arts with independent learning, the Good and the Beautiful really makes it, we use the Good and the Beautiful language arts, grade school through middle school, and then I kind of mix it in a little bit in high school with other things. In grade school, it turns independent really on 4th grade, I think. That's what we're moving into this next year with Drew. 4th grade, it gets more independent and through there. Now, below 4th grade, mom or dad or aunt, grandma, whoever's teaching is really needing to be present. And it's such a fulfilling process to be present. But I want to emphasize to you guys that maybe you have a day job or you work, you really want to homeschool, but you just have this picture in your mind that it has to be a school day, school hours. Well, I want to let you know that with my youngest, Drew, I was really kind of juggling my twins and my daughter when he was in kindergarten, and I couldn't always get to his lessons. So what I was inspired to do was teach his kindergarten lessons during my daughter's choir at night. So I would take her to choir, and you can do this, tag your kindergartner along, your first grader along, while they're in their sports or whatever they're doing at night. That's when I would teach the kindergarten lesson, and it only was about 45 minutes. We only did it probably 3 times a week for his kindergarten year. He took off. He was way high above level with reading. He's in 3rd grade and doing fabulous, fantastic, reading novels, awesome. So I just want to encourage you that you do not need, for preschool, kindergarten, even 1st grade, you do not need to be sitting down with them and think it's a school setting, 6 hours a day. If you work from home, they can do creative play all day. That's what he did. He did creative play the whole entire day, and it worked. So that is the beauty, to have your children safe in a holy place. Even when you're working and your child is playing on the floor next to you, that is better than being in the schools right now. That is safety. That is a beautiful thing that's going to bring fruits to you in their teen years. It's going to pay off. So I just want to encourage you with that. So for history, when all of my kids were in grade school, we did the Good and the Beautiful history lessons through about middle school. Now, when life gets a little crazy and you have a lot on your plate, I started moving more towards history through literature. And this has worked fabulous. My boys, I think they read close to 100 novels last year. So I'm compiling a list for this year for their history reading. And again, that's something they do independently. And you can have them write a book report, an essay on what they read. You can have them do an oral report for your, family night. A PowerPoint on it. There's so many amazing things they can do. They can draw a map of what they read. For book lists, I'm going to make a video. Check out my video that I'm going to be posting on books that my boys have loved and my daughters loved. For book lists, I use the Good and the Beautiful library. I also use A Well-Educated Heart. And I've been meaning to mention A Well-Educated Heart for so long. Finally, I mentioned her. It's an amazing resource that we use. She has podcasts you can listen to for family studies. She has book lists. So I look up high school, and then I'll look up a time period that I want my kids to learn about. So say American history, and you click American history, and then it will come up with books that you can purchase. And there are many books that I've purchased from her book list. So excellent resource for books. For history with, that beautiful Christian perspective. And with the living history, they just get this, they live with the character, they walk through it with the character, and it just gives them, that's where I really connected with history, was through books. So I still use Homeschool Planet, and I do have an affiliate link. I'm going to link it below. Please use it. It helps me out. And so I plug in all of their assignments, their curriculum into Homeschool Planet, and they're getting to the age where they can even log in online and check their schedule, and it just keeps them accountable. And all of my kids need their schedules. It just keeps us all on track. So that's what I'm doing right now. And math, I can't forget math. I know everyone's gonna ask. I have shared this before. I will link my video on MrDMath below that I've shared. We are using MrDMath. It is through middle school to high school, and we've loved it. We do the live. It's 1 Zoom class a week. So it's, again, not a Zoom every day. They do 1 Zoom, and then they do work in their notebooks. So it is pencil paper work, which I love. And then they take quizzes online, and they get graded. My kids have all gotten A's. They have giveaways, and they keep it fun, and they're part of a class we are sticking with MrDMath through high school. It's been fabulous and such a blessing. So I highly suggest you guys look at that. And as far as a busy parent or a parent feeling ill-equipped to teach, MrDMath has really helped me out because if they need help, if they don't understand a concept, guess what I can do? They have 2 help sessions a week. So I'm like, log in to the help session and it makes sense. And it's just, hey guys, I wanted to add for grade school math. Okay, real quick. In more independent math. The Good and the Beautiful is coming out with a math program that's more independent. It has video lessons, and so I'm really excited for that. Although I do love teaching math to my youngest. It's been so fun. But if you don't have time, The Good and the Beautiful has that program. We're going to be using it. Also, during the summer months, I use teaching textbooks for Drew. He can just log in and do a lesson and it kind of keeps his brain moving. So teaching textbooks is also a really good option. My kids used it middle school, and then when they got those high levels like pre-algebra, we switched them to MrDMath. So I just wanted to share that. I will link that below, teaching textbooks and The Good and the Beautiful math. Those are really good options if you just, again, if you're busy, if you don't feel like you can keep up and all that stuff. So there's that. All of these things have just taken the weight off of my shoulders. I'm able to know what my kids are learning. They're rooted in Christ. I know where they are. They're safe in my home. They're getting the education a better education than they could get in any school around here. They're engaged. They love learning. They're excited, and we have a happy, healthy home. Everyone's happy, and our relationships are nurtured, and it's just the best of all worlds. And I can't say enough how the fruits, it pays off. So keep going. I'm giving you that encouragement to keep your kids home, and keep them rooted in Christ. That is where you're going to be seeing the greatest payoff. I think that's about it. And I hope this really encouraged you and helped you. Love you guys. We'll talk to you later. Have a good one.